Thank you, His Excellency. As the title suggests, the aim of this session is to present a brief overview of UNAOC projects and activities and an update on progress and impact. But before introducing my colleagues and hearing more about our specific initiatives, let me briefly remind the focus area and main objective of our programming. Since its inception, the Alliance has been focused on four main fields of actions: youth, education, media, and migration. The goals of our activities and projects are multiple, but can still be grouped around four main objectives. Facilitating the global conversation on the challenges and opportunities for living in a landscape of diversity, preventing intercultural tension and crisis, combating stereotypes, discrimination, and xenophobia, supporting innovative grassroots initiatives that contribute to intercultural dialogue and understanding, and raising awareness and mobilizing public support for cultural diversity, tolerance, and inclusion. I would like now to give the floor to my colleague Thibaut Charreton, who will tell us more about our activities in the field of media and migration.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to talk about a few elements of the work of UNAOC on the areas of media and migration. So since its implementation, UNAOC has really sought to improve the media's coverage of migration in order to really enhance relations between migrant communities and host societies. We've done so by organizing a number of global seminars and developing concrete tools to assist the global media community in doing their job to the best of their ability. For example, we developed the media-friendly glossary on migration, which you can now see on the screen, in partnership with Panos Europe Institute. And this media glossary helps journalists make informed word choices when covering migration. I'm now moving on to our newest initiative in the topics of media and migration. So in keeping with its mission to promote dialogue between cultures, civilization, faiths, and peoples, UNAOC launched on December 2nd of last year a campaign against hate speech in the media. So the goals of this initiative are numerous. Well, first of all, the goal of this initiative against hate speech is to help prevent violent extremism in accordance with the UN Secretary General's recent plan of action. Through this series, we work to promote freedom of opinion and expression, as well as pluralism and diversity in the media. We work hard to provide the public with a more complete and nuanced understanding of hate speech in order to really contribute to a richer public debate and a better media coverage of sensitive issues related to minorities globally. We also strive to work with journalists to develop stronger codes of conduct that foster tolerance and respect. Ultimately, through this work on hate speech, we aim at fostering more tolerant and inclusive societies. I'm just going to say a few words about the launch of this hate speech initiative, which, as I said, took place in New York on December 2nd of 2015, here at the United Nations headquarters. So this hate speech symposium consisted of a one-day debate during which participants examined the different measures that have been taken globally to counter hate speech and also discussed their limitations. Participants also explored the reasons why hate speech remains a pervasive element that contributes to violent extremism as well as the link between hate speech and the treatment of migrants. The day's discussions included 20 panelists, including UN officials, but also non-state actors. If you look on your desk, you should have the list of the speakers who participated on that day. And the speakers represented in total more than 12 countries. As part of these days of debates and discussions on hate speech in the media, our speakers articulated a number of initial recommendations that I'm going to share with you, just a few of them. So our speakers insisted on the role for governments to play through enforcement of criminal and anti-discrimination laws, but only for cases really involving criminal acts or direct incitement resulting in violence. There was definitely a clear consensus throughout the day that freedom of speech must be protected at all costs. Speakers also noted that citizens all over the world should be encouraged to respond to hate speech and also to register their dissent. There was a strong acknowledgement that the media should also work to give more rounded portraits of migrants and show migrants' positive contribution to society. There was also a strong acknowledgement of the fact that news organizations need to seek much greater diversity in order to better reflect the realities of all the members of our diverse communities. The media also has some responsibility to fix public commentary sections on news organizations' websites. And finally, the media need to help their audience become digitally and media literate through creative and innovative storytelling, for example, through the use of multimedia, such as graphics, and just in general, more creative storytelling. So as part of this new hate speech initiative, at UNAOC, we've really made sure that the discussion is not limited to the wall of the symposium venue. So we've taken advantage of the many followers of UNAOC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google, which is close to 100,000 at this point. And so we really actively engage our global followers through a very active and targeted media campaign, which is also a very big element of this initiative. So just to give you an example, the social media campaign of this hate speech initiative, we used the hashtag #SpreadNoHate, and it's already reached millions of people globally. Just as another example, on December 2nd, the day of the launch of our hate speech initiative, we reached more than 7 million people on social media, and our hashtag #SpreadNoHate was trending in New York. So I'm just going to conclude on our work on hate speech with a few elements about our next steps on this initiative. So the initial symposium that we organized here in New York will be followed by a series of international symposia in Europe, in the MENA region, but also in other regions of the world. In order to continue this constructive dialogue on hate speech and encourage the sharing of best practices through debate with journalists. The next discussion on hate speech that we're organizing will take place in Baku, Azerbaijan, during our 7th Global Forum in late April of this year. In addition, at the conclusion of this cycle of symposia, we will publish a report with concrete recommendations on ways to combat hate speech in the media. The report will be made available for download on our website, but also on the website of partners or partner organizations in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic. And finally, we will use this initiative and this report to as a foundation for future UNAOC initiatives in the area of media and migration. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like now to introduce Jordi Torres. Oops. Project Manager, Media and Information Literacy Education.
Well, thank you, Alessandro. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to briefly highlight some of the work that UNHC is doing in media literacy. Media literacy is developing critical thinking skills applied to media messages. It is adapting the classical concept of literacy to the fundamental needs of contemporary citizens, allowing in this way their full social participation. It is empowering as well as protecting individuals immersed in the multimedia environment of our societies. In partnership with UNESCO, we have developed multilingual-based clearinghouse facilitating access to media literacy resources. Media literacy also provides opportunities for the better understanding of the other. With UNESCO, we have created a global network of universities researching and developing resources of media literacy as a platform for intercultural dialogue. UNHC is actively participating in media literacy conferences, publishing books, as well as developing strategies for media literacy as an educational tool for building resilience to violent extremist propaganda. We are organizing a panel in the Baku Forum around this topic. With the funding support from Spain, the UNAOC coordinated a series of teacher training workshops on media literacy in Morocco and Egypt. The ministries of education of both countries supported the initiative by facilitating, as professional development, the participation of secondary school educators. One of the outcomes of these workshops will be the publication mapping the state of media literacy in the MENA region. Published in partnership with UNESCO and Nordicom, the book will be published this year in English and Arabic. Now I would like to say a few things about Plural Plus. Engaging youth to produce media with ethical and social frameworks is an integral part of media literacy. In close partnership with IOM, we have developed Plural Plus, a youth video festival focusing on migration, diversity, and social inclusion. Each year, UNHQ and IOM invite young people, up to 25 years, from across the world to participate with their videos. Already on its 8th year, Plural Plus has become a framework of reference for young people's voices addressing difficult topics such as human trafficking, xenophobia, hate speech, social exclusion, gender identity, religious diversity, refugees, and forced migration. Every year, Plural Plus videos are celebrated at an award ceremony in New York. The event also includes workshops for young media makers coordinated with partners such as UNICEF and the Tribeca Film Institute. Discussion guides built around Plural Plus videos are available in Arabic, English, French, and Spanish. Plural Plus videos have been watched almost 1 million times on different digital platforms. Partners are also screening them at festivals, conferences, and television broadcasts. Plural Plus, more than a festival, is a multimedia platform of global distribution of youth-produced media on the topics of migration, diversity, and social inclusion, empowering youth voices, giving them a space to be heard. Another project that we are also working is Peace App. Video games and gamified apps are conduits spreading values and views of the world. With UNDP, we developed Peace App, an initiative aiming at encouraging the distribution and production of ethical and aiming at peace-building digital games, acknowledging that ICTs are indeed also platforms for dialogue and inclusion. A global call for entries was organized. 5 winning applications from Germany, Kenya, Australia, Switzerland, and Brazil were finally identified. All were invited to an ICT Peace and Development Conference in Cyprus last year, facilitating in this way their outreach and their professional development. Peace App partners also provided 2 of the winning videos the ones in development with mentorship, assisting in this way the completion of their projects. ProApplaus is currently searching for funding in order to further develop the initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like now to invite Paloma Ashker-Joseph, Project Manager Specialist, Intercultural Engagement.
Thank you, Alessandro. Created in 2010, the fellowship program aims at challenging stereotypes and at encouraging dialogue and understanding between cultures and religions. For the 4th year in a row, the fellowship program is being funded by the government of Germany. Each year, UNAOC selects 10 to 15 emerging leaders from the Middle East and North Africa, and 10 to 15 emerging leaders from Europe and North America to participate in the program. Each cohort is balanced in terms of gender and countries of origin. Participants are young professionals selected for their involvement in fostering intercultural understanding within their local community and for their potential in becoming decision makers. The program provides participants with a first-hand exposure to cultural diversity. During 2 weeks, in every country they visit, the fellows interact with a wide range of actors such as official institutions, religious leaders, civil society organizations, grassroots initiatives, with the aim of developing intercultural collaboration. The goal is to help them understand the plurality and the complexity of their surroundings by getting an extensive grasp of their host country's culture, politics, society, religion, media, and more. And by exposing participants to new ideas and perspectives, and by immersing them into culturally diverse and unfamiliar environments, the fellowship program opens broader and deeper discussions on cultural sensitivity. Building on that, fellows become then better equipped to position themselves as informed stakeholders and to develop cross-cultural partnerships while bridging divides between peoples from different faiths and cultures. This year, the UNA cohort, UNA stands for Europe, North America, traveled to Morocco, Egypt, and Qatar, where they were hosted by the governments of Morocco and Qatar and the League of Arab States in Egypt. The MENA cohort, which stands for Middle East, North Africa, traveled to Germany, Belgium, and the US. Each cohort worked on a theme. The UNA group worked on youth development, and the MENA group worked on migration and integration, and participants were selected for their professional involvement in those fields. Also, for the first time, both cohorts had the chance to meet one another for 4 days in Sarajevo in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And this experience has been described by them unanimously as one of the main highlights of their trip. And after completion of the program, participants become members of the UNAOC Fellowship Alumni Network, which is a global platform composed of 160 emerging leaders from 39 countries. The Alumni Network is a unique platform of young experts professionally involved in critical areas in their own countries and deeply committed to UNAOC mission of fostering intercultural dialogue.
Thank you. And finally, I would like to introduce Isabel Tibi, Project Management Specialist, Youth and Education.
Thank you, Alessandro. Good afternoon. I would like to speak about the Summer School, a project that focuses on youth education and empowerment. Through capacity building and experiential learning, the Summer School aims to strengthen the intercultural knowledge and competencies of participating youth, to increase the ability of these young civil society leaders to collaboratively address pressing global challenges, as well as create opportunities within the context of cultural and religious diversity, and finally allow them to explore their shared values and their common humanity. During 1 week, the participants coexist on the Summer School campus. They interact in a space that welcomes a diversity of knowledge, experiences, and perspectives which are key for the search for solutions. With an emphasis on learning with and from each other, the summer school curriculum is youth-centered and participatory. We use workshops, roundtables, dialogue circles, site visits, non-formal education methods such as sports and arts, theater, and collaborative work to focus on learning objectives such as fostering global citizenship, reducing stereotypes and identity-based tensions, promoting intercultural harmony and social inclusion, and strengthening participants' skills and their organization's approaches and abilities in negotiation, conflict resolution, communication, and campaigning. For participants, a highlight of the week, of course, is always the visit to the United Nations headquarters, where they have the opportunity to sit in these very chairs where we are today and engage with senior high-level officials from the United Nations to talk about and engage in a conversation on how the United Nations and young people can further collaborate and partner in order to promote peaceful societies. To date, UNAOC has implemented 6 summer schools, 2 in Portugal, 1 regional school in Malta, and 3 right here in the United States in the state of New York in Tarrytown, thanks to the partnership we have had for the last 3 years with EF Education First, a private sector company specialized in international education. The summer school program generates a lot of interest from young people. Over the years, the number of applications received for the summer school has increased from a few hundreds to more than 10,000 last year. The summer schools have directly involved nearly 500 young participants from 119 countries on all continents and created networks of young men and women who are committed to intercultural dialogue, joint action, and collaboration. These are teachers, activists, human rights defenders, leaders of their NGOs working with migrants on the ground who multiply the lessons of the summer school to hundreds, thousands of other people in their networks. While the summer school lasts only 1 week, the intercultural dialogue and exchange extend well beyond the face-to-face experience. From the moment of their official selection, they have the opportunity to interact on social media through a closed group. Following the school, the bonds created are kept alive as the alumni cohorts sustain interaction on this platform and other social media tools. They seek exchange, advice, and skills. They share best practices and their accomplishments as well. They create joint initiatives, and last but certainly not least, in moments of pain, loss, and discouragement after terrorist attacks or other types of pain, they express emotional support. They thus create a narrative of global youth solidarity, citizenship, and engagement despite their differences. This is a powerful and uniting message on the strength of our world's diversity and our shared humanity, and a compelling counter-narrative to the call of violent extremism. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. I will now present the last 2 projects in this presentation. I will start with the Youth Solidarity Fund. Established in 2008, the Youth Solidarity Fund provides seed funding to outstanding youth-led initiatives that promote long-term constructive relationship among people from different cultural and religious backgrounds, contributing to more peaceful and inclusive societies. The main idea behind YSF is to support youth to act as an agent of positive social change. Each project we select is youth-led and youth-focused, but yet it has an impact on local communities as a whole, often involving religious and political leaders and policymakers. The awarded projects use creative methodologies to break stereotypes, prevent violent extremism, and promote a culture of peace, and are developed to ensure participation of women and men and sustainability, even after the initial implementation phase where they receive our support. Since its inception, YSF has received a generous contribution from the government of Australia and Finland, who are currently supporting the ongoing edition of YSF, and Spain and Sweden in the past. We support the selected organization by providing seed funding to implement their projects, up to $25,000 per project. During the course of their implementation, they benefit from mentoring, technical support, and capacity building training. And furthermore, we also showcase best practices at regional and international level, and mainstream voice and expertise of youth in policy discussion. In terms of progress and impact, well, since 2008, UNAOC has launched fourth edition of the fund of YSF. 45 projects have been completed in 30 countries around the world. Over 800,000 persons were reached by the activities of the selected projects. In the fourth edition that is currently underway, in 2016, projects are being implemented in Africa and Middle East and North Africa in areas affected by tension, conflicts, and violent extremism. Last but not least, the Intercultural Innovation Award. It's a partnership with BMW. It's a partnership with BMW Group and UNAOC that was established in 2011. The main objective of the Intercultural Innovation Award is to select and support innovative grassroots projects that promote intercultural dialogue and understanding, making vital contribution to prosperity and peace. Within the framework of each UNAOC Global Forum, we organize an award ceremony where, with the participation of the UN Secretary General, we confer awards to 10 projects selected by an international jury, with the overall goal of helping them to gain visibility and replicate and expand their innovative ideas. The support that we provide includes a monetary grant with a first prize of $40,000 and a one-year support that is tailor-made to their needs, where we organize, among other things, capacity building trainings led by experts on different topics, from fundraising to strategy and planning, monitoring, evaluation, and public speaking. We also ensure to promote and facilitate the participation of our awardees to relevant events that can serve as a platform to enhance visibility and favoring networking. Furthermore, awardees become members of Intercultural Leaders, a knowledge-sharing platform created with the support of BMW Group, open to alumni of UNAOC projects that harness the solidarity of its members to maximize the impact of their work. In terms of progress and impact, since 2011, there have been 3 editions of the Intercultural Innovation Award, with 31 organizations awarded, 10 each year, apart from last year where there was an ex aequo. The numbers of countries impacted by the work of the organization receiving the award has increased by 150% and reached over 1 million people, as a sign of the effectiveness of the selected project to expand and replicate in different contexts and regions. Finally, I would like to show you some statistics witnessing the increasing visibility of our initiative. From the 400 applications received in 2011, we reached this year almost 1,000 applications coming from 120 countries, which represent, again, an increase of almost 150% compared to the 70 countries during the forum in Doha. This concludes the overview of our projects, and for any question you might have, we invite you to wait till the end of the next session, led by Mr. Holtz, Director of UNAOC. However, before I conclude, we would like to show you a short video collecting intervention from participants to UNAOC projects. Thank you for your attention.
What really changed my, I guess, worldview was the fact that I found more similarities than I did differences in cultures. And so that actually blew my mind, because I was like, well, I'm seeing things in Morocco that I recognize from my childhood.
It was amazing because we visited 3 Muslim countries, and plus Bosnia, where there's a kind of mix of religions. And it was really interesting to see that even if those 3 countries, Morocco, Egypt, and Qatar, share the same religion, they don't have the same practice.
I think it changed my perception of the Arab countries, because I had been reading a lot, but I didn't understand the complexity of these countries. And I think through some specific fellows that became very close friends, it also changed my perception of Islam.
Looking at things from a different vantage point is important, and it gave me a platform where a lot of trust has been built, because UNAOC was able to bridge between us and the other, so automatically trust was there.
In keeping with its mission to promote dialogue between cultures, civilizations, faiths, and peoples, the United Nations Alliance of Civilization is creating a platform for constructive dialogue on hate speech.
Today, however, more than ever, individuals are using hate speech to foment clashes between civilizations in the name of religion. Their goal is to radicalize young boys and girls, to get them to see the world in black and white, good versus evil, and get them to embrace the path of violence and the only way forward, as the only way forward.
The main manifestation of hate speech in the media is a very, very important question, all the more after Paris attacks. When you get out all the legitimate and understandable emotional reaction, we assist to a very, very dangerous semantic slide which criminalize Islam and Muslim in many ways.
Plural Plus is a joint initiative between the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations and the International Organization for Migration, with a network of over 50 partner organizations supporting the creative efforts of young people and distributing their videos worldwide. The initiative also encourages participants to explore migration, diversity, and social inclusion. Since 2009, over 900 videos from 90 countries were submitted to the Plural Plus film competition. These entries have been screened in dozens of film festivals, cinemas, and television networks around the world.
There are many reasons why media literacy education should be included in the context of elementary and secondary education. First of all, if literacy is expanding to include digital tools and technologies and forms of expression, then simply in order to create a knowledge economy, simply in order to create an information society, media literacy needs to be part of the curriculum.
We can't talk of a person being literate if he or she is not multiple literate. We can't talk of cultural subsistence if the person does not have the media knowledge that will allow him or her to survive in a mediatized culture such as ours.
Everyday Racism is a mobile phone app where you can walk in the shoes of somebody who experiences racism. So people can play the game and they get to experience the person's life for 7 days. The second thing is to get people to build the skills and the confidence to speak up when they witness racism. So in the scenarios within the mobile phone app, people are given choices about how they want to respond. And over the period of 7 days, that gives people an understanding of the types of things that they might do if they witnessed racism on the street in real life.
Welcoming America began as a local project called Welcoming Tennessee in the state of Tennessee. What we recognized was there was a need for a project that could reach out to US-born Tennesseans and educate them about the contributions of immigrants and get them to meet immigrants. And that was a project that eventually became Welcoming America when we saw a lot of interest in our work and saw that we could scale it around the country and possibly even further.
I think that summer school is a very big platform for young people to come and learn from the other, from young people to come and improve their skills, from young people to come and feel re-encouraged or reassured that they're doing the right thing and reassured that they can still create a change. I mean, we're not going to change the world now, but we can create a little difference. And summer school is one of those places that you learn and appreciate that you can create a difference and you're encouraged to go back home and do more work with what you're doing.
I wish that I can learn from the summer school that the diversity is really a positive point, that really diversity is a richness, that really we learn from each other, we can participate together, we can share our own values, our own world, and toward a better future for everyone.
We developed Haki 2 in response to the election violence in Kenya in 2007. We didn't want to repeat in 2013. So we developed Haki, Chagua Nilako, which is the choice is yours, to empower youth to choose peace and tolerance, and also to be empowered to choose the right leader, so that when they get to the voting booth, they make the right decisions. And we launched the game in January, and we had about 10,000 users, which was before the elections in February. And since then, we've had about 70,000 users. And we use it not only as a game to play, but also as a tool to engage in the discussions around, leadership and also peace and tolerance.
We were able to design a program which we call Building Youth Capacity for Peace and Good Governance in Nigeria. And for the first time, we were able to go beyond just our immediate target group, which is young people out of school, and then to reach the wider community.
So when we received the Youth Solidarity Fund, we could really, really expand our Sport for Peace program, and the Peace Week and the Interfaith Iftar, the two annual events that we do, got really expanded. We could reach out to a much wider segment. We could work with many more children, and we were able to build sustainability into our program. So what we did was, with that grant, we could buy sporting equipments for the children, which will last us another 5 years, which we couldn't have done. And that's the only thing we needed.